Between 1880 and 1970, there was a state policy in Australia that took Aboriginal children from their families and forced them to live in government-controlled missions and reserves. These 100,000 children were never allowed to return home, making them the stolen generation. This policy was at the time viewed as necessary and compassionate. The white society thought it would be in the best interest of the children to remove them from the corrupting influence of their Aboriginal family. Many Aboriginal families would go to extreme lengths to avoid this harsh policy, as failure to escape often meant that mother and child would never see each other again. As for the children who were taken, they were definitely not better off. There were no rules or regulations for how these children would be cared for, and as a result, they were regarded as the most neglected children in Australia, subject to maltreatment and deprivation. They suffered cultural estrangement, growing up knowing nothing of their family and Aboriginal heritage. Despite this glaring mistreatment, the protection welfare system remained until 1969.
The Central Australian Stolen Generations and Families Aboriginal Corporation has been working since 1999 to reunite the members and families of the stolen generation and to help those individuals to heal. It is important that you, as volunteers, understand our organization's mission and the struggles unique to the stolen generation. The Link Up service is one of the main programs of our organization. Our staff counsels those separated from their families in their endeavor to reunite with their relatives and their Aboriginal culture through extensive research of personal and family records. Reunion services are another initiative central to the mission of our organization. Family reunions are focused on reuniting individuals with their family members, whereas the institutional reunions are for those that were institutionalized together in schools and boarding houses after removal from their families. To ensure that the reunions are as effective as possible, we counsel those who partake in these reunions at every step. It is extremely important to be aware of how the distinct upbringing of the stolen generation altered their course of development, a key element that affects the stolen generation as they search for their biological families and reunite with a widely different culture.
Erik Erikson's developmental theory can be applied to the Aboriginal culture and stolen generation's life experiences. The Aboriginals advance through the same developmental stages, but at different rates and with different meanings ascribed to each. The trust versus mistrust stage is when an infant develops a belief that environment can be counted on to meet basic physiological and social needs. Aboriginals trust not only the immediate caregiver and family members, but also the natural environment and members of the community. Attainment of this trust allowed the Aboriginals to survive as hunting and gathering community. When Aboriginal children were removed from their families, the sense of trust was disrupted, affecting subsequent developmental stages. Aboriginal children are given the opportunity to develop a sense of autonomy early in life. Due to various reasons, such as availability of food and the necessary survival skills, Aboriginals consider infants and small children capable of letting others know their needs. When children are able to move more freely, they are allowed to explore and learn what is safe and what has the possibility to cause harm. Therefore, the initiative to explore, learn, and develop feelings about the environment, family, community, and self starts comparatively early with Aboriginal children. In their new white Australian homes, the development of autonomy and initiative were replaced by doubt and guilt, which caused many to submit to their new family and perform their roles as a servant. In Aboriginal culture, the development of industry and identity occur almost simultaneously. This is because their hunter-gatherer society requires them to grow, learn, and develop social ties in order to survive, enabling them to define their roles within the community early on. Unlike white Australians, the identity they develop is more collectivist, within the perspective of the entire community, its desires, thoughts, and needs. The disruption of this mentality caused inferiority and an unsatisfying and humiliating identity to develop in place of the feeling of achievement. Love for nature, community, and family is developed at an early age in the Aboriginal community, partially due to their shorter lifespan. However, life in institutions inhibited these children from reuniting with their families or having families themselves. This resulted in individual as well as ethnic isolation.
There are other lenses through which we can consider the impact of forced separation on Aboriginal development. According to Yuri Bronfenbrenner's ecological systems theory, the person develops within a complex system of relationships affected by multiple levels of the surrounding environment. Each of the four systems Bronfenbrenner proposed was fundamentally altered when a child was taken away from his birth family. The microsystem, consisting of a child's interaction with parents, siblings, school, and their neighborhood, is the most immediate level of influence on a child's development. As previously mentioned, Aboriginal children are encouraged to be independent. Conversely, child care in white Australian families often falls to the mother, as the child is seen as helpless. The white Australian family expects the child to conform to the routines set by the caregiver. Little freedom is left to the child in determining schedules. These are just a few ways in which an Aboriginal child's microsystem would change if he was being raised by a white family. The second layer, the mesosystem, consists of how the actors in the child's microsystem interact. In Aboriginal culture, child rearing is viewed to be more of a community process. Aboriginal parents place a strong emphasis on the value of sharing and helping others in the community with child rearing. In contrast, white Australian mothers seldom leave their children in the care of others. Consequently, the mesosystem was drastically altered as a result of the welfare policy. The next sphere of influence is the exosystem, which encompasses the social institutions such as religion, community, and the workplace that act on the child's more immediate surroundings. At the center of the traditional Aboriginal religion is the dreaming, the belief in powerful beings who connected nature and its inhabitants. According to Aboriginal belief, the favor of these powerful beings is secured by continual observance of rituals. Taking a child away from traditional Aboriginal faith prevented the practice of these rituals. The most inclusive sphere of influence, comprised of the child's culture, values, customs, and resources, is the macrosystem. Aboriginal culture includes a strong attachment to the land. Children are expected to be highly knowledgeable about their natural environment. They are raised with a love of the outdoors and spend much of their time outside. Additionally, when an Aboriginal refers to their family, they may be thinking in terms of their entire people. In contrast, white Australian children experience more formal education attitudes and regimes. School attendance is valued more highly than religious observance or familial obligations, and they are encouraged to be individualistic and self-sufficient. Though they share the same country, the experiences of these two youth are quite distinct. We hope that you now have a broad overview of the hardships, developmental tasks, and ecological systems that the children of the stolen generation experienced. With this knowledge, you will be able to assist us in the process of helping the stolen generation to heal as they reunite with their families.
This story's right, this story's true. I would not tell lies to you like the promise said they did not keep, and how they fenced us in like sheep, said to us, come take our hand, set us up on mission land, told us to read, to write and pray. Then they took the children away, took the children away, the children away, snatched from their mother's breast, said this is for the best, took them away. The welfare and the policeman said you've got to understand, we'll give to them what you can't give, teach them how to really live, teach them how to live, they said, humiliated them instead, taught them that and taught them this, and others taught them prejudice, and took the children away, the children away, breaking our mother's heart, tearing us all apart, took them